When we last left off, we had finished our markup. So now I'm going to return to Photoshop so that I can begin slicing out any necessary assets. And the point of this is we need to take any images or icons, anything that cannot be recreated with HTML and CSS. And this is very simple, and I did this on purpose so we're not focusing too much on Photoshop. The first step is we do want that image. So I can do that by selecting the cursor tool, and I'm going to come up here and choose Auto Select and make sure Layer is selected. Now, when I click on the image, if you refer down to the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see that we select that layer. And if I turn that off, you'll see the image is gone. All right, so now if I want to select the image, because all I want is to capture that single image and save it, there's a couple different ways, but this is the way I prefer. I'm gonna hold down Alt or Command on the Mac and click within this thumbnail right here. And now when I do this, you're going to see that what we call marching ants will be selected around the entire layer. Now the problem with this is this image appears to be much larger. And I bet you can tell because if we were to move it around, we can see different parts of the image. Now we want to keep it as it was before, but we only want to select this area. So I could do it manually like so. Another way would be to select the mask. And if you look right here, you can see this is where the designer masked the image, what he wanted to show. What is white will be what is displayed, and what's black is what's hidden. But if I, once again, Alt or Command click, that selects that one area. And then I'm going to come back, click on the thumbnail, and copy it by pressing Control or Command C. Now that's copied, I'm going to create a new file, File, New. And now what you'll see right here is the width and the height have been set to the exact dimensions of what is stored in the clipboard. I'll click OK, and now Control or Command V to paste that in, and there we are, we have our background image. So if you've used Photoshop before, you might be used to Save As. But in our case, we want to save it for the web. So I'm going to come down to and click this one right here. Next, we want to specify the format. Do we want it as a JPEG or a PNG? As a quick rule of thumb, anything that is a photo should be JPEG. Anything that is much more simple, maybe solid colors, no gradients, you would use a PNG. And anything that should have a transparent background, you would always use PNG 24. So I'm going to stick with JPEG because this is a photo, and you can see here the ultimate file size, and you always want to pay attention. Don't simply raise the quality as much as possible because the file size is going to increase and it's going to take longer for your website to load. So instead, what you want to do is reduce the file size or the quality as much as possible until you see a noticeable decrease in quality. And right now, hopefully you can see this. It's beginning to look a little more pixelated. And of course it is. We're at 12. So a good rule of thumb is to keep it right around 60. That way, it still looks rather nice, and our file size is 49K, a little large, but it should be doable. Next, I'm going to click Save, and now we're going to specify where this should be saved to. It's going to go on our website in the Images folder, and I'm going to call it city-bg, but feel free to call yours whatever you like. Next, we're going to hide this and add it to our website. Now remember, we're not adding this to our markup, we're adding it to our style sheet. So normally you would slice everything out of Photoshop first, but for now, just to give you a quick glimpse of how it works, let's do it this way. And now we need to target banner right here. So I will say banner and give it a background of URL, and we're going to link to the image that we saved. In this case, img/city-bg.jpg. But as we learned in a previous lesson, because we're within the CSS directory, we have to go up to the root and then into the image. So I will do .. Next, I'll save it and make sure this is called style.css. Finally, after background, if we want the background to repeat, which is the default, this is the default, we can specify no repeat. So we have a single background image.